Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use a massage gun to help free up a pulled groin muscle. My name is Dr. David Medoff, and I'm a specialist physical therapist at Paso Manual Physical Therapy. This channel is dedicated to helping people stay healthy, active, and mobile while avoiding unnecessary injections, surgery, and pain medication. Please consider subscribing to this channel so that you don't miss out on any of the helpful videos that we post each and every single week. So let's get on with this massage gun tutorial on freeing up your pulled groin muscles. Now the groin muscles, they attach right against your body where your thigh meets your body, right in this area, and they run all the way down to right below your knee, right about your knee joint on the inside of your thigh. So in order to free that up, we're going to target that, but we need to warm up the front of the thigh and the front of the hip area first, because those muscles tend to be tight and stiff along with the groin muscles. So let's start with that first. I'm going to turn on my massage gun. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, this massage gun is my favorite one. I've reviewed many here on this channel. This is the one that is my current favorite. It's the Toloco percussion massage gun. I put a link in the description down below this video so that if you want to go get one yourself from Amazon, you can use that link to get one. It's an affiliate link, so we get a little tiny cut if you decide to purchase one. Any gun will work. You can pick one up at your local sporting goods store. Walmart, a department store should have one of these as well. And they all are very similar. This is my favorite for a few reasons. You'll have to check out the video on why I like this gun. But just want to give you a plug on why I'm using this gun. So I'm going to switch it on right here and power it on the lowest setting to start off. And I'm going to just start to go from where my hip muscle attaches to from where my thigh muscle attaches to my hip up here, down to right above my knee. Now you just want to stay off of any bones with this. You want to be on muscle only. You don't want to go in the private area either on yourself. Whether you're male or female, this gun is not designed to go on any genitalia. So you need to stay directly on the muscles the whole time. Once you go up and down here a few passes, you really don't need more than a minute. What I found in using the massage gun is that it feels good for a lot of people to go more than a minute, but you get diminishing returns after about a minute. So once you go up and down for a minute, you're not going to soften up the muscle that much more. Now if you find a knot or a painful spot, a tender spot, like for me about right here, it begins to get a little bit tender. It's not bad at all today. I feel fantastic actually. But if you have a knot, especially if you've been exercising a lot, if you've had a groin injury recently, you're probably going to have a lot of knots. Free those up. You can hang out on that spot and just press into it. You can turn up the intensity if you want a bit and just move around it, make little circles, go up and down, go side to side, just get all the different angles. You might even turn the gun a bit to get the tissue from a different angle rather than just the same angle the whole time. And that helps out a lot. You can also interchange the head of the gun. I seem to be able to do everything just fine with this one, but some people do prefer the more direct tips that are harder. This one has a little bit of a give, but this one works best for me. So I'm just going to go up and down here on the outside of my thigh now. So I've moved from the front of my thigh. Now I'm going to go to the outside part of my thigh and the hip as well. And just go up and down several passes, find the tender spot, and free that up. So for me, the tender spot that I encountered most was right up here at my hip. And this is especially important because if you're suffering from a groin injury, a pulled groin, these abductor muscles, abductor, A-B-D-C-U-T-O-R, they oppose the groin muscles, which are the adductor muscles, A-D-D-C-U-T-O-R. So B instead of D for the outer muscles, and then double D instead of BD for the inner muscles. Once you tenderize a spot, you should find that it gets a little less tender. And like I said, you can go different angles on the tissue, go up and down and all around. And then you're ready to move off that part of your leg. So I've done the front, I've done the outside, now I'm going to go into the groin. Now to do this, let me just pause that for a second. You should position your leg this way. Sit up in an area where you can get your leg onto a table or a chair, just like I am on the bed. Works really well if you're doing this at home. And you need to make sure you're aware of where everything is. So for me, I'm not going to go any higher than this spot right here so that I don't injure myself. I'm going to turn on the device here. I'm going to start on the lowest speed. And I'm going to start by my knee right where it's soft. See right here, it's hard, that's the bone. And if you go on the bone, the gun just bounces on it. If it's tender, it's going to hurt. But once you're on the muscle, it doesn't bounce on it. It sinks into the tissue. So make sure you're on the soft tissue. And notice how I flipped my handle here. I'm using two hands. I could just go like this if I wanted to, but I just feel like I get more leverage holding the gun this way. I could also do it this way or this way. Just using two hands any way you want is going to be a little more forceful on your muscle. And I'm just going to slowly move my way up and down. I'm more on the front part of my thigh, and then I'm going to work more to the back part of my thigh here in a second, and just go right up to that spot that I told you to earlier. And you're looking for tender spots, and if you find a tender spot, especially where you pulled it, you can hang out there and just move it around little by little to tenderize it, just like I tenderize on the outside. I literally think of tenderizing meat. If you've ever done that before, you're pretty much just hammering the meat, and it slowly gets softer and softer and softer. And when you cook it like that, it's pretty tender, it's pretty soft. The meat almost falls apart. And what you're trying to do here is loosen up a stiff part of the muscle. You're trying to free up that stiffest part of the muscle. So find the knot and just loosen it up. Just like so. So for me, I get a little bit stiff right here. Just gonna put in a little more pressure, and let's turn up the intensity a bit. I'm at 10 now. And that works pretty well to free it up. Now once you've tenderized this part of the muscle, you found any knots that you need to work out with the gun, next what we're going to do is go through all three sections again, but this time with movement. When you move your leg, you move the muscle under your skin, and you can begin to get on those tender spots a little differently as well. And now that you've tenderized it, it should feel easier to move. So here's what it looks like for the front of your thigh. You're going to get the machine on. Put it on the setting that you like. I'm going to go about 25% of full intensity. And as I'm back on my thigh, I'm just going to begin to bend and straighten my knee as I go up and down. Now some people will find that they have a tender spot with their leg at a certain position, maybe this position or this position. You can hang out there. What I would make sure that you do is continuously move at some point. So in other words, I'm moving up and down continuously with my knee here as I move the massage gun up and down. But let's say, like right there, I actually do have a little bit of a tender spot, and I feel it most when my knee is straight. So I'm going to hold my knee straight for just a moment and dig on that same spot that I had earlier, because I feel it differently now. So this really helps to free up that muscle from a different angle, from a different muscle position than I was earlier. I was relaxed earlier, now my muscle's a little contracted. Once you've gone through that, then we're gonna do the same thing for the outer hip, and for this one we're gonna have to get on your side just like so. So outer hip and thigh, it's gonna be like this. You're gonna move your leg out and in just like so. And find any knots, any spots that you feel you need to work out a little bit better. It's probably going to be the same ones as you found earlier. Like for me, it's right in here. It's not as tender as it was before, but now I'm going to move my hip joint while I dig in there with the gun. Just going to get a different angle on here. Actually, I'm going to turn up the intensity a bit. Let's go 50%. Right there. I love the controls in this gun. They're so easy to maneuver. It's very responsive. There we go. I found another spot that I hadn't quite gotten earlier. I'm just going to bounce my hand on it right there too. It feels like I can get it out a little easier as well. There we go. Now once you've finished about a minute or two on the outside of the thigh with movement going in and out, let's go to the inside of the thigh. And this one you can do from different angles. So I like to do it seated, and I'll just move my leg in and out like this. Some people prefer to go like this. Whatever you want is fine. I'll actually start like this and I'll end the other way. So I'm going to start near my knee and just come up and down as I add some length and shortening to my groin muscle, and I'm using the muscle obviously as well. So it's got to feel comfortable. You may not be able to do this day one after a pulled groin, or you might go really light. I'm going to heavier setting. Let me go all the way light. Yeah, that's a little less intense. And you would just massage your way around it, just like so. Find the knots, hang on it, and then move your leg as you hang on it. Let me show you the alternate version, the one that I like. So you're just moving your leg in and out like this. I just feel like I can get my hands closer to my body and more controlled this way. But I think some people with longer arms or shorter torsos might access their leg a little better than me. So this works for me here. And it's just like you're rolling your leg kind of in and out that allows you to use this muscle. So you can slide the muscle through the place that it lives in your body while freeing it up with the massage gun. There you go. Now, those are the most important muscle groups to get with the massage gun, to free up with the massage gun if you're dealing with a pulled groin. But some bonuses that I wanted to include here: the muscles in your hamstrings, glutes, and your low back could be involved in your groin injury, especially if they're achy and painful. So that might be a reason for you to go in there with a massage gun to free them up too. So the best way that I found to get your hamstrings is to sit just like I was a second ago, with your knee bent, and you're going to put the gun like this up against your hamstrings. Now, something important to note before you start doing this is that sciatic nerve runs right in the middle of the hamstrings. So you generally want to stay on the inside and the outside part of the hamstring, because the sciatic nerve is highly irritable with vibration movements. So this can actually set off sciatica in somebody who's already got it. It can make it worse. Now, if you don't have any sciatica, you haven't had it in a long time, you don't think you're going to get it, then you're probably safe to do this right over your sciatic nerve. But if it's remotely irritated, even just a little bit irritated, I would strongly advise you against using this on your hamstring muscle to make sure that you don't flare up the sciatic nerve. So then let's go forward on the hamstring. Just gonna put in the lowest setting, and you're just gonna push it onto your back of the thigh, inner part, and go as much as you feel comfortable going up there, and then work your way back towards the knee. Now, there's no real easy way to get in here unless you're a contortionist. If you have help from somebody else, then it might be a lot easier for you to just lie flat on your stomach while somebody pounds away at the hamstrings. But on your own, it's not the easiest to get into. But if you're dealing with a groin injury and you feel your hamstrings wanting to cramp a lot, this can be extremely beneficial. Oops, I turned it off. Let's get it back on. All right, let's get on the outside of the hamstring. Let me flip around so you can see me better. Just like that, up and down the outside of the hamstring. And I feel like I got some good sized hamstrings, so I'm gonna turn up the intensity to get through the tissues there a little better. And thankfully I don't have any tender spots, sore spots today, so I feel pretty darn good. If you have a tender spot, a sore spot, follow the same procedure like we did. You want to dig into it, get different angles on it, just let it sit there, tenderize it a bit, and you should free it up. Now, to get your glutes, what you're gonna have to do is lean forward or lean on your side, one of the two. I'm gonna get on my side here and just put it directly on the glutes. Let me turn around and give you a better angle of what this looks like. So we just get on the side of your glute here. Can't really get two hands on there. You're gonna have to just use one, and just stay on the muscle off of the bone. My bone is right here. You can see the gun kind of starts to bounce right there. Let me put it on the lower setting. That's the bone right there. But as soon as I get off the bone, it stops bouncing. So that's how you know that you're on the bone. Of course, if it's irritated on the bone, it's going to hurt a lot to do that. So stay on the meat of the glute, and usually up towards the waistline, where the glute meets the waistline. That's where people tend to get tender spots if they're going to get it. And you want to just go all along the edges of the glute, get the meat of the glute. Again, if you have help from a friend, that's going to be the best for you, is to get somebody else to do this on you while you lie on your side or on your stomach. And then for your low back, you're just going to reach up a little higher up here. You'll hear my voice vibrate now because it's on my torso. But you would just go up and down the back. This does require some good shoulder range of motion, so if you've got shoulder problems, you might refrain from doing this one. And now, if I get lower right there now, you can see it bouncing. I'm on the bone, so I'm going to stay high up. Ooh, that kind of hurt. Higher up on the muscle here. I'm just going to do some passes. And if I find a spot that's tender, like maybe a little bit right there, I can hang out there and get different angles, get different positions on that spot. All right, friends, that covers every way that you can use a percussion massage gun to free up a groin muscle. Making sure you get all these muscles is important to fully relax everything that could be influencing the groin muscle. This sets you up to now do exercises to get at the root of the problem. Keep in mind that this is just a short-term solution so that you can sleep better at night, take less pain medications, and hopefully avoid a visit to the doctor and keep this from getting any worse and recurring over and over again. Now, bear in mind, you've got to go fix the muscle imbalance. As we mentioned in other videos regarding pulled groins, go check that out so you can learn more about that if you aren't already working on that. Thanks so much for watching. Please share this with somebody that you think will benefit, and we'll catch you in the next video, friends. Bye-bye.